We have some new developments in the foiled terror attack on Toronto. Canada's public safety minister is saying today that federal departments are reviewing how the two men arrested, a father and son duo, were allowed into Canada in the first place with suspected links to a terrorist group abroad. Global News reported over the weekend that the father had taken part in an assault shown in a video released by ISIS before he immigrated to Canada.
It shows that once again, Justin Trudeau's radical, reckless, and dangerous mismanagement of our borders and incompetent immigration policy may have allowed in an ISIS fighter who allegedly tortured and maybe even helped kill a person in the Middle East before gaining admission to our country, where he is now charged with yet another terrorism-related offense.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre telling us today the Trudeau government needs to explain how two men with links to the Islamic State terror group were able to immigrate to Canada.
Last week, Canadians were shocked and outraged to learn of a foiled terrorist attack in Canada.
July 28, 2024, GTN arrested a father and son who were in the advanced stages of planning a serious, violent attack in Toronto.
Conservative House Leader Andrew Scheer is demanding that the Commons recall its Public Safety Committee to dig into the RCMP case involving 62-year-old Ahmed Al-Didi and his 26-year-old son, Mustafa.
Justin Trudeau's government allowed someone with connections to ISIS, someone who participated in a gruesome and horrific torture video, to come into Canada. Not only was he allowed into Canada, but the Trudeau government granted him citizenship just a short while after he participated in these gruesome crimes.
The father-son duo were arrested in Richmond Hill last month and face 9 different terrorism charges, including conspiracy to commit murder and possession of weapons for terrorism purposes.
Those weapons being an axe and a machete.
The RCMP telling the media last week that the father faces an additional count of aggravated assault outside of Canada, and Global News had the exclusive details.
Violence that multiple national security sources say was in part documented in an ISIS propaganda video released in 2015, showing the torture and dismemberment of an ISIS prisoner by a middle-aged man with a sword. Global News has viewed the video that multiple national security sources say is believed to show Al-Didi hacking off a prisoner's hands and feet while the man is tied to a crucifix in the desert.
The Conservatives blaming the Liberals for this colossal failure. The offices of the public safety and immigration ministers telling Trending Now that Conservatives, quote, would rather risk undoing the tremendous work of our security agencies just to score a few political points. So what would the Conservatives do differently if they win the next election?
We would bring home the common sense, responsible immigration policy that we had before Trudeau, which is to say that we would carefully screen everybody who comes into the country to stop terrorists, criminals, and fraudsters from setting foot on our soil, and instead bring in hardworking, law-abiding, tax-paying newcomers who can contribute to the Canadian family.